Morning, or good morning, or good afternoon, where basically we're trying to figure out where I went behind a background panel. Hope you're doing well today on this Friday as they say. Time for a brief disclaimer before we start the show, as we have been talking about for the last couple months, in the sense that the National MS Society is a collective of passionate individuals who want to do something about MS now, to move together in a world free of multiple sclerosis. MS stops people from moving. The National MS Society exists to make sure that MS doesn't. An incredible organization there to help many, many folks who have multiple sclerosis, not only themselves, but their families and their friends, as far as how to make sense of such a complicated disease. It very much is an individualistic disease because it affects people in many different ways. I know it affects me in very different ways than someone else. It affects me not only physically, but it affects me mentally and psychiatrically. And talking about exactly what's going on changes day over day over day. There are good days, there are bad days. These are things that I've been dealing with for the better part of the last 2-3 months, but I would also say that it's something that's been in my life for the last 10 years, from the first demyelination back in 2011. Nevertheless, we're going to talk more about demyelination and multiple sclerosis in the weeks to come. We have an interview on Tuesday about what MS does to the family, and I'm looking forward to having that conversation. The person that is doing the interview on Tuesday with me is also someone who has raised a lot of money for the National MS Society by way of the MS Walk, which are usually done in May. Given the new normal, they've been done virtually last year. They will be done virtually again this year. To find out more about that, to find out more about the National MS Society, call 1-800-344-4867. Again, 1-800-344-4867, or go to nationalmssociety.org. And on that, it's time to talk. This would be Bruce, a cat that has an opinion about everything, just as much as a cantankerous Triceratops who thinks he's a T-Rex has an opinion about everything. This is a chance for us to talk about anything and everything. This is the Venture Forward VF Talks. Good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, and welcome to the VF Talks. I am John Venturini. I am a recovering addict of overeating, obesity, alcoholism, and compulsive gambling. And here we are talking about anything and everything because we need to talk about anything and everything. Boy, it's been a week, hasn't it? I've been saying that every single week it's been a week. But I think more than ever, I've been quick to say that too. And we're going to talk about that for sure. Want to quickly say hi to all of you that are on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Mr. Weber, how you doing? JV, hey man, hope you're doing well. I am doing well. I'm doing a lot better now than I did this time, let's say, almost 24 hours ago. And we'll explain what happened with that momentarily. But it's something where I have been learning about the process and learning about the intricacies of getting ready to do a broadcast 3 days a week and realizing, oops, there is something missing. And, hey, things happen, right? Always things happen. Leah, good evening. How are you? Glad to see you on Facebook. Glad you are joining us this evening for sure. I really think that at some point, what happened last night was going to happen at some point. And so I did a recap show last night. It was basically, we've covered a lot of things in the last, how many months? 4 or 5 months, right? Been doing this since mid-October, which, funny coincidence. I'll tell you that in a second. I have had to drop one episode in all that time until last night. And last night, I was going through the story of what this venture forward's all about. Been talking about the weight loss, talking about the sobriety, talking about the compulsive gambling, but then also talking about the other things that have popped up as either causation to those three things or other things have made themselves more resonant. And during that conversation, I was going through some slides and I showed the wrong information about a really good group, which if you check the comments from Tuesday, it's there. The Gamblers Anonymous group. And again, I'm not going to replay that information. It's up on Tuesday's notes. You can go grab it. But I basically went with the wrong information, and that information ended up on the stream and not the information that was sent on Tuesday. So realizing that, I had to axe last night's episode. And that's why when you try to look for last night's episode, it's missing or it's private or it's not there. And it's because for the first time there was a mistake, and instead of editing it through YouTube and Facebook and Twitch, I just dropped it. So that's my moment of honesty. Now, the funny coincidence. We talk about the fact that I've been doing this since mid-October. We're doing a VF Talks back in November, right around the time that we were moving the clocks back. And tonight, I'm here to remind you that this weekend, in most municipalities in the United States, we're moving the clocks forward because here comes daylight saving time, or daylight savings time. I've heard it either way, but we're moving the clock forward an hour, so sunset will be later, but so will sunrise for a little while. But it's a rite of passage. It's amazing how many people will have debates with you about, oh, should we move the clocks back? Should we move the clocks forward? Why are we doing this? We do this twice a year. You know what my stance on it is? Doesn't matter. I know I like a longer day during the summer, but you know what? I'm used to something, and I'm not one to challenge it. I'm also very, very cognizant of the fact that people don't know how to drive when the clocks move. So maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the case that many people have, right? It's like, oh, well, got to be careful on the roads because people don't Yeah, people are not used to the time change. People are not used to that 1 hour difference. Yeah, that could be it. Sure. But yet here we are. So it's nice to know, from a sake of longevity, Mr. Weber, Mr. Ross, that the last time we talked about the clock, I was doing this back in November, and now we're doing this in March, second week of March. There you go. So Venture Forward VF Talks has lasted for a good while, and I'm very thankful for all of you who watch the show, who comment on the show, who hit me on instant message outside, either on Facebook or on YouTube or whatnot, and tell me thoughts about what you want to do, and ideas for the show, or you want to offer some ideas. I'll bring up that slide real quick. I am very thankful for all of you, but also the thing is, always looking for new ideas, looking for things to talk about with respect to the show. So if there's any, no, that's the wrong one. That is the wrong one. theventureforward@gmail.com. That is basically the email address to reach me. I'm always open for ideas, and always welcome to hear any feedback you have for the program. Mr. Weber says ours changes on March 28th, so in 2 weeks. So you're still going the last Sunday in March. I forget when. I think it was almost 10 years ago where it changed here to the second Sunday in March and to the first Sunday in November. So there's that for sure. Danielle, good evening. Hope you're doing well. Glad you're here to join us this evening. Some other things I wanted to just discuss off the top of my head. I'm at a point right now, from the scale perspective, again, keeping this 100, being very transparent, where I think the weight loss has gone down to a minimum. I think I've lost as much as I can, losing about 280 pounds in a little over 2 years, and I'm at the point now where I'm doing more to build muscle, and I'm very cognizant of that, but I also feel the need, like, I got, I'm still tracking things. Obviously, I'm still tracking things, but I think my mindset has changed a bit. I think my mindset has gone to the point now where, I'm not eating necessarily for the caloric reduction, but I'm eating for, the muscle growth. I'm eating for protein. I'm doing that sort of thing. I think now more than ever. So I think my mindset's changed there. I think in the next couple weeks, I'm going to spend a little time about how that portion of the journey changes a bit. How eating to build muscle, to maintain, is a bit different than eating to lose the weight in the first place. Many different ways that people lose weight. I am very very thankful, and is just amazing, some of the people that I've gotten to know that have lost weight through many different methods, whether it is caloric reduction, whether it is medicinal, whether it is bariatric medicine, any of those. It is a very complicated thing to tackle, but when you tackle it and you put one foot in front of the other, one step at a time, it ends up working, right? And the thing is, it goes back to the story, right? What was going on with me? There was things going on with my mind. There are things that are going on that made me look to that sort of thing of overeating as basically a place to cope, a mechanism to cope. It's what many people do to cope, is do that. Me, being a joint addiction, there are other things too. The alcoholism and the compulsive gambling. But at bare minimum, that baseline sort of addiction, the thing that we've been talking about since the beginning of the show in mid-October, is the fact that the overeating is basically the main addiction, with the thing that's affecting it is what's going on upstairs. I'll never lose sight in telling that story. I'll never lose sight talking about exactly what was involved losing the weight this time, since January, February of 19, losing the weight the two other times, whether it is 2001, 2002, or the time I lost the weight in late 2010 to 2012. And then, moreover, the things that happened afterwards that made the weight creep back on. It's one thing to lose the weight, which is a Herculean effort, incredible effort. But then the thing is, what do we do to maintain that health? And I think the thing that I'm very adamant about as far as talking about the number of days I've been tracking is that number is not going to go away, because tracking now is just as important as the track to lose that weight. I think the fact that I'm remaining very cognizant of the things I intake as well as the energy I exert. And again, that's going back to a traditional Mifflin St. Jean model, a Harris-Benedict formula, so basically caloric reduction. Keeping that in mind has been very important. So it's something that I will always talk about with respect to the show, but also it's something that I will always do another look at from time to time. I think when we talk about the things that have been very important to me, very, I would say detrimental, but also very important for me to conquer, that's up top. We could talk about the other things that drive it. We could talk about depression. We could talk about anxiety. We could talk about co-addiction. We could talk about codependency. And we will talk about codependency in the next month or so. But at the end of the day, when we talk about the first and foremost baseline addiction, the baseline thing that we talk about on the show, it is that battle with overeating, that battle with obesity. So I wanted just to be very clear about that. It was something that I was talking about last night when we were doing that sort of review, and because I removed the episode, I figured I had to go down that road again. So that's what that was about. Don't know about you. Making a quick turn to the right real quick. Weather's been really good. Weather's been absolutely fantastic. I feel like spring's here, but then I know the cold weather's coming again. Sort of that, there's this list of 12 seasons that are in the state of Pennsylvania, in the Commonwealth of PA. And I think this is the fake spring. I think we see some cold stuff next week by way of snow. Well, not necessarily by snow, but at least colder weather. There was snow, but I think it got removed from the forecast, at least here in southeastern Pennsylvania. So it's always interesting to see the change in weather. Always interesting to see how we deal with that sort of thing. I know the older I get, the less of affinity I have for the colder weather. I mean, I'm good with a few snows, but I'm not good with being inundated with inches upon inches and ice and this. It's like, I can't do it anymore. And I know some of you love snow. Some of you love that winter. Not saying I don't. I just don't love too much of it. Right? So it's the sort of thing where you kind of know where your line is, and you're okay with admitting where that line is, and you don't want that to go way past that line. Weber says, we have the most horrific storm overhead right now. Gale force winds, torrential rain. I am sorry you're experiencing that right now. I'm also hoping that you stay safe and, everything. It's just the weather has been very erratic. So be safe over there. And I'm glad you have power to watch this live stream this late evening, early morning over by you. Weather is something that I'm not a meteorologist. I've taken a few classes in college, but I don't claim myself to be a meteorologist not by any stretch of the imagination. So I know what I like and I know what I try to stay away from. Matt Haas says, "Hi John, on my way home from Costco, listening in the car." Matt, glad you're listening in the car. Hope your trip to Costco was a good one. We're just talking about weather and weight loss and the change of the clock. It's basically what we've been covering thus far. If anyone wants to join, the Ecamm link is up there. You could point that in your browser. It will call the show, and I could bring you on, and we could talk in a conversation. There might be a cantankerous Triceratops that will just sit in a window as we talk. But just saying, you could click on that link or bring that link into a browser window, and we could talk. Sue, glad to see you this evening. You're in the car too. I hope you're doing well. And I hope everybody's doing well wherever you may be. My next chapter with the weight loss, outside of the muscle building, but this is something some of you know, and I might as well talk about that right now, is I have a lot of skin. A lot of skin. I know there's a dear friend of mine who's tackled that, and it's almost cut from current events here, and I won't mention names unless they want me to, but it's something where I really feel like in the third quarter or the fourth quarter of this year, I'm going to tackle all this additional skin. I have, has to be 15 to 20 pounds of skin on me, because when you're at 480 pounds, you basically amassed a lot of skin, and no matter how much you do by way of physical activity or by way of exercise routine, it's always going to sit there unless you get it surgically removed. So it's something that I'm very, very adamant about. I know that it is something I'm looking to do this year, because I know I've battled this 3 times, and I know that I am at a point right now where I'm very comfortable with where my body is and with the weight I've lost, and now it's just a question of me building some muscle, but I know it's something I definitely need to do. And to a couple of my friends who have done that sort of surgery, they have had a new lease on life because they've gone through that. And to the one person that has tackled this recently, and I mean almost immediately recently, my nothing but the utmost just pride and proud. I'm very proud of you, and I'm glad you did what you did, and I know that you're working towards that. So congratulations on you tackling that, but also all the work you've done to get up to that point. And again, I'm withholding a name because I'm not sure they want me to say their name, and given the massive mistake I made yesterday on the show showing wrong Zoom information, I'm not saying anything unless they give me the okay. So, there. Quick shout out to Christina Grabnickas. This mug is fantastic. It's a mug that basically talks about understanding where you've come from, but also, going to where you are, having an appreciation and understanding of life. And Christina, for you to send that to me has been absolutely endearing, and I appreciate you as much as I appreciate everybody who joins me on this show. I'm truly, honest to God, can say that I have made such a incredible group of friends who I love so much, and I am appreciative of all of you. So thank you, for sure. I think we're turning a corner, and I got Mr. Weber. Hang on one second. Paul, let me get you on screen. Hang on one sec. There he is. There he is. And is he on mute? Of course he's on mute. But
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Cool. How
I
you
can
doing,
hear you
man?
loud and clear. And then over there is a
I can see
certain,
Rex.
yeah, is Rex, who's not going to say much because I think he's threatened by you.
Let me turn my yeah. Let me put my headphones on, and then I'm not going to feed back to you guys. It's really good to see you. Can you hear me?
It's
Yes, I
really
can.
good to see you too, sir.
Cool. How you doing,
Hear you
man?
loud and clear. And then over there is, and I can
See
also
Rex.
hear me on the background too. So,
Yeah. Wait.
do you want me to put down low? Yeah, I'll put down Law of Audio Productions. Sure. Yeah, this is doing stuff on the fly here, right? How is everything over by you? Is the sound all mess? Is the weather still chaotic over there?
Hear me
And
at
you're
all, by the way.
yeah, now you sound better.
Okay.
Okay. LoveAudioProductions.com, right?
I know what's going on. I know what's going on. Okay, I got it. 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 There we go. Okay. So, yeah, what am I doing here? Hang on. I should be with you now. Can you hear me
I
at
can hear
all?
you
Because
loud and clear.
that's brilliant. Good stuff. All right. So yeah, I can't hear myself though, which is really bizarre. Hang on
I
one
can hear
second.
you.
Yeah, that's
I
good. Okay,
think
I got me now. That's brilliant. I got
yeah
you and I got me. That's good.
yeah.
Cool. So yeah, no, there was just a horrendous storm just now, and you mentioned the weather just now, and here in the UK, it's hammering over the glass windows above
Oh,
the
I can hear it in
ceiling
the
here.
background.
Yeah, it's kind of eased off a bit now, but yeah, it was quite horrendous and definitely not worth going out, especially at a quarter to 11 p.m., which is what it is here right now. But no, it's good. It's good to see you. And I've been watching your progress and your various streams that you've been doing. Hopefully,
Thank you.
catching them live if I can. Sometimes they're a little late, but I normally try and catch the replay if that's the case. But yeah, really enjoying, kind of hearing your journey really, and how you always try and help other people with their journey as well. It's quite humbling and it's quite it's informative, for those that aren't necessarily in the same boat. It's good to hear what you've been through and to hear the advice that you give. And I know that you give out different websites and links to groups that are help, therapy groups and things like that, which is really really positive. And I enjoy watching that. It's good.
Yeah, I got to say that group that the gentleman who I've gotten to know, he's actually done the show before. A gentleman by the name of
Hmm.
Archie. I can mention his name. He runs a great stream or a great conference call over the weekends. It's just basically a virtual Gamblers Anonymous group, and I gotta tell you, in a world where we don't actually have that sort of face to face contact, that sort of group contact, it's great to have a group that we can all gravitate to. And
Mm.
I definitely thank Archie for that, providing that information on Tuesday's episode. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just really, really great. Yeah, the other thing I'll say, Paul, is, and I'm not sure
Yeah.
how much of it is an issue across the pond, but
Mm.
um, I know that compulsive gambling is such a major issue within the last year, and I'm going
Yeah.
for reasons that I'm not going to mention because of demonetization, but we all know what that is.
Sure.
And how many advertisements there are as far as gambling and going to site XYZ to play on their phone or their tablet or what
Mm.
have you. It's just the amount of advertising and attention that sort of realm has received
Mm-hmm.
is scary, especially with addiction.
Yeah. Over here, we have uh, a number of organizations that have online casinos
Hmm.
as part of what they do. They also do the bookmakers, as we call them. So they have the booking shop, the betting shops where people go and put, not dollars obviously, but Great British pounds on horses or football matches or anything like that. But they also have these online casinos, if you will. So
Yeah.
that, there's all the slot machines you can think of in the whole world are available on your phone. And what I find now watching, I've just watched a load of commercials tonight on TV, and what I'm finding is that nearly every single one of them starts their commercial now with, we are introducing measures so that you don't get into trouble with your gambling. And yeah, they're almost putting the public service message before the commercial message. So yeah, you can download our app, but first we're going to tell you, look, we all know that things can get out of hand. We're putting measures in place to give you time to breathe, time to relax, step away from the gambling, etc., that kind of thing. So that's happening right now on the commercials, and it's very often at the front of the commercial now instead of at the back. Normally, it used to be at the back end of the 30-second commercial saying, you know, gamble responsibly, and that was about it. It was like literally a 2-second warning, and that was the end of it. But now they're becoming more cognizant, and I love the word you mentioned earlier, the cognizant word. I love that. They're becoming more cognizant of the fact that it's a problem for people that are addicted to playing these slot machines on their phone, because it's so easy to do. You just log on, it gives you £10 free bet. That accumulates to £30 free bets in some cases, and that's an attractive thing. Somebody's going to give you £30 to play for free. Wow, yeah, go on, I'll do it. Sign me up.
Right. All right.
Do you know what I mean? So, but it looks like they're trying to take responsibility for their actions, and they're now putting this warning way up in front, and they're being way up in front with it, which is great.
I wonder if that was something that was driven by like a Ladbrokes, or that was something that was driven from, say, Parliament.
Yeah, we have Ladbrokes over here. We have a number of others as well, Betfred, and I don't know them all, to be perfectly honest with you. And it's interesting because as a voiceover artist, as you may know my background, and by all means tell your viewers, as a voiceover artist, one of my clients, you won't believe this, but one of my clients, and I won't name them, but they run a website that help people make more money at gambling. And I do, and I narrate the videos. so how bad does that make me feel? But I get paid for doing the voiceover. So the content I don't write. I just read it. But isn't that strange? Do you think that's odd?
It's very strange. It is very strange. But I think the other thing is, I could talk to this from what it's like in the Northeast in the United States, and especially in the Pennsylvania and New Jersey market, where basically Pennsylvania legalized online gambling like a year ago, and New Jersey's had it legal for like 3 years now. And every ad break, whether it's the local news or a local ad break for a network show, has been this casino or that casino, and the same sort of thing, Paul. It's like, we're offering $250 in match money, so we're doing a deposit match and stuff like that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we have it on a slightly smaller scale over here. I think they start off with like £10 or £20, £30 maximum, because I think our government has put a cap on the amount that people can gamble or can spend on these particular apps, and I think that's very forward thinking of the government to do so.
Hey, Sarah, how are you? Hope you're well. Yeah, I think, Paul, that number keeps on growing too. And I kind of alluded to this on Tuesday, in the sense that it's one thing for the casinos to do what they're doing, but when the actual lottery does it, it blows the mind away, in the sense that, okay, well, it's one thing for, say, I don't know, I'll mention it, what Caesars, right? That sort of group. Or MGM, that sort of group to do it. But when it's like the New Jersey Lottery or the Pennsylvania Lottery that's doing this, it really just becomes something where this is an organization that's supposed to serve the greater good of the municipality in question, and now they're just looking at the tax dollar and the money that's going to the lottery funds, instead of trying to see how their constituents are actually doing in all of this, especially given the last 12 months.
So you guys have lotteries per state, whereas we have a lottery per country, so that the whole country has the national lottery. I know you have a big one over there as well, but it's run in a responsible way. a lot of money is generated by people buying a ticket every week or every 2 or 3 days a week. Sometimes nowadays you can opt for different things, but a lot of money is generated and it's put to a lot of good use. A lot of national lottery funded projects have started because of Joe Blogs like me and you
Yeah.
buying a ticket of a weekend. The ticket price starts from £2.50, $2.50 if you will. So £2.50 for one ticket,
Hmm.
and that gets you six numbers, either random numbers or numbers you choose every week. Right?
Right.
I tend to go for random numbers. It's never brought me in a big win. Having said that, 1997 was the first time it was launched, and I put £5 on
Hmm.
because it had only just launched. It was like brand new, a couple of weeks old, and £97 returned. So it was a good it was a good win. So
Well,
but
that's
other
how
than
they
that,
hook you, right? That's
well,
how
I
you
know,
get
I
drawn
know, I
in.
know, and the following week I put another tenner on and lost the whole lot. But that's the way it is, right? You know this from first hand.
Oh
You
yeah.
know how that starts and how it snowballs. So they always, in that particular instance as well with the lottery, they do put the warning on about gambling responsibly and things like that, because people think, actually, I'm not earning any money. The thing we can't talk about has done this to my job. And I need some form of income. Why not put this amount of money onto this? And then they have this belief that they're going to win this massive £26 million jackpot.
Right.
But of course, that's rare, and it's never going to happen to you, unless of course you come up with the winning ticket. But that's the gamble you take, right?
Right. And then when you transcend the lottery into other games that are on a phone,
Yeah.
they're on your tablet or on your desktop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we go turn back the clock 2 years ago, we go
Yeah.
to 19, and we go to the PA lottery in its infancy online, and someone like me who is just dejected about everything and needs something to do to keep his dopamine drip to continue,
Mm.
plays an online game, has socked away a lot of money into the online game, and then all of a sudden wins $50,000.
Mm.
Well, that's all in all great if you have a healthy relationship with that sort of vice, for
Yeah.
which, as we both know, I do not.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that money ends up going back, and it's amazing people who gamble all the time, what their sort of attraction to money is, what their attraction to betting money is. They usually don't have that sort of money. They don't have the disposable income to do what they're doing. And then,
Mm-hmm.
moreover, how much they're going to chase it. Because they think somewhere in the back of their mind, because that dopamine drip has proven them one way or another, that if they
Mm-hmm.
keep doing what they're doing, they're going to hit it big.
Yeah. And that's where it starts from, as you quite rightly pointed out. Um, but it's for you and for those that are overcoming gambling addiction, it's the way you deal with it. It's how you come out of it the other side, and you've come out of it positively, and you want to help other people do the same. And I praise you for that.
Thank you, Paul. I seriously appreciate that too.
Mm.
The thing is, it's amazing, and Sarah made mention of this on the Tuesday episode, in the sense that the IRS audit actually proving to be like a blessing.
Hmm.
I think taking a look at everything that was transpiring during that, looking at 1099 forms, realizing how much I blew away, how much it's just disgusting. I still get really sick thinking about it, thinking about those days fresh in an audit, but then also just I was gambling for 20 years, Paul. 20
But
years.
you found it as an eye opener, didn't you? It was almost a wake up call
Oh yeah.
to be pulled up on it, if you will, and then go back over those times. I'm the same with and I was going to ask this question:
Mm.
is spending a similar form of addiction?
Yep.
Because I think I suffer from that. I spend money I don't even have, and I'm now in debt to the tune of, well, I won't tell you on the
Yeah.
stream,
No.
but I'm trying to work through that, and It's the new shiny things. It's the stuff for the studio. It's the stuff from my DJ career, which has gone by the by because there's no weddings happening until at least the 21st of June. I haven't DJed since last February.
Oh my God.
So over 12 months. Yeah, seriously, I've not stepped outside the door since February of last year to do a disco. And I'm classed as pretty good at it. Been
Mm.
doing it since I was 16, so I'm now 55. So, I've been doing it a long time. And my specialty is weddings, and of course, there's none of those going on
Right.
in the UK. Not over 15 people anyway. Nobody wants a DJ. If you've got 15 people in a room, let me tell you. So, it's looking at gear. It's looking at new gear for my DJ setup. It's looking at new gear for the studio. It's doing this, that, and the other. It's subscribing to stuff I've used maybe twice, three times in the
Yeah.
whole 12 months. It's a ridiculous amount of spending I've done, and I'm guilty of it. My partner pulls me up on it because I'm terrible,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely terrible. I can't save a penny, and I find it like you did. No doubt. I find it addictive,
Oh
and
yeah.
I need to stop it. I need to control my spending because if I don't, I'm going to be in trouble. And you know, luckily I've just sold my house, so in the next 8 weeks I'll be moving. So all
Oh.
this will be shipped up and moved out to a different place. I'm actually downsizing. This is a 3-bedroom house. I'm downsizing to probably a 2-bedroom apartment. So,
Okay.
but we'll see. We'll see. Nothing. I can't do anything concrete until we get that completion date. So I'll keep you posted on that. But
Well, I mean,
uh,
hey, that's recognizing a situation, a financial
mm,
situation. You're working around
yeah,
it. To your
yeah,
point, Paul, about shopping and shopping addiction, very much a serious thing.
mm,
Have I had the shopping addiction? Not to, I would say, not to the sort of level that I know others, but I definitely know that I have a little bit of an addiction to it. I think it more transcends itself back in the day to going out to eat a lot.
okay.
I think,
And that, of course, and that's related to your overeating
oh yeah,
situation that you got over. Yeah.
oh yeah. So
Mm.
it goes back to saying, I'm just as happy sitting in a fast food line as I am going out to dinner.
Same here. Um, but increasingly lately, it hasn't been happening, which is fine, and I've lost a quarter of a stone, and I'm happy with that.
I was gonna
So,
say you
you
look
know,
fantastic, by the way.
well, yeah,
Hey, hey, hey.
John, I'm going to have to disappear because I'm going to be jumping onto another stream. But it's been a pleasure chatting to you, and hope to do it again soon. Best of
Yeah,
luck with the rest of tonight's stream, and hopefully catch you soon. Yeah,
Paul, you're fantastic. Thank you for all that you do, and I'll definitely catch you soon. Thank you, man.
you're very welcome.
Paul Weber, ladies and gentlemen, and go back to the main screen over here. I guess this one. Yeah, there I am. It's amazing how much that sort of there's a very there's a large level of similarity between spending money for gain in the sense that I bought clothes. I bought maybe I purchased or put a lease on a car, whatever, right? Versus things that are more disposable in nature, going out to eat or buying something that is doesn't have much of a shelf life. I think that sort of incentive and also compulsion is very much similar. I know that at some point I wanted to start talking about compulsion as far as shopping is concerned. I'll probably get there within the next month or so. So that's definitely on the topic list for sure. I know I had a little bit of an addiction there. I will say one of the saving graces as we talk about good firefighting versus bad firefighting is that when you're 480 pounds, it's very hard to go clothes shopping. So I wasn't as much of a clothes horse when the only place I can go shopping, or it's only 2 or 3 places I can go shopping that is catered to that sort of audience. So I think in that in itself is a blessing. But now that I've lost the weight, yeah, there's a little bit of a inkling there, but I think I've been very good about that. The other thing that helps a little bit of a spoiler alert, and you're probably saying this in the car or at your home is, oh, I don't know, bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is definitely something where you have to account for everything that you're doing now because you claimed bankruptcy. You're claiming the fact that you have a massive amount of unsecured debt, and the claimants that want to file a claim against you have an interest in what you do with your money to make sure they get paid, as well as also the secure debt that you have. So your house, your lease for a car or something, right? So being under that sort of microscope, being fully cognizant of the things that you're spending, but also budgeting. When was the last time I fully did a budget outside of work? Oh, it's been a long time, right? But that's what happens when you have a reckless sort of relationship with money itself, outside of compulsive gambling, outside of going out to eat all the time, outside of alcoholism, right? So we're gonna talk about that a bit more, because what you're finding is these days, given the events of the last year, people are spending money. They're just spending money online because they're not going out to the mall. They're not going out to the store. They're not doing that sort of thing. But they also need something that is going to help pass time when they can't hang out with friends. They can't go out and do the things they normally do. That said, I think turning a corner, as I was going to say before I brought Paul on, I got an email today that Camden Yards, the ballpark for the Baltimore Orioles, is going to be seating at 25% capacity. And the last time I checked, 25% capacity is definitely greater than 0% capacity. So it's good to see that baseball's back and sports are back, and we're going to move towards something where people are getting back together. Whether we still wear masks, whether we're still 6 feet apart, we're at least getting back to some level of normalcy. I know the things that the president said the other night, definitely something that is resonating with me. I think the sooner we can get there, the better off we are. As far as, well, I'll talk about that in a second, but I wanted to get this comment up real quick. Sarah says, I find credit cards to be problematic. It's too easy to use them, especially online. I'm definitely better when I use cash. It's more real to me. Yeah. And one of the things my bankruptcy attorney told me is try to use cash as much as you can because, hey, that's going to basically be very real to you. You know how much money you have in your pocket, and that's all you can spend. Moreover, when you're bankrupt, many of your credit cards are discontinued anyway because you're in a bankruptcy. So both of those things are working in a way towards you. But yeah, credit cards are very much problematic, and we will secure lines of credit to anyone and everyone if they show some sort of pulse. That's the way the world's been for a long time. So for me to have a better relationship with money is very much important, for sure. I think that's the other thing. It's going back to a world where I'm basically paying for a lot of things with cash. And then if I have to use plastic, it's tied to a debit card, which is as real can be. There's nothing on margin about that. It's coming out of my checking account. So yeah, there's that sort of light bulb going off over our head saying, hey, this is real. This is very much real. So I think the other thing about the bankruptcy and going through that is being reminded of what you've done, but also learning from it really quickly, or at least through a process, 5-year process, but then 7 years to get your credit back. And also realizing that you do have a second chance. It really requires you to say that you have a problem. It really requires you to say to the U.S. government, U.S. bankruptcy court, hey, I'm broke. You do the numbers, you do the means test. I am upside down. I am negative. I am red. So it takes a level of acceptance, but honesty and transparency to move yourself forward from that. So it's something that over the next 5 years, I'm going to be fully aware of as I make my first payment to the bankruptcy trustee at the end of the month, and we'll make 59 more payments of the same. So Sarah also says, it's also better if I wait. It doesn't seem as important to buy the thing after a day or two. Yeah, there's that sort of instant satisfaction, that instant gratification that you basically come across with when you buy something online, and especially the way a certain company ships things these days. Is it instant gratification? No, but it's awfully close, isn't it? And I didn't have to leave my house or my apartment or my job to do that. So, yeah, very much so. I think the thing I wanted to quickly talk about in talking about the thing that I'm not allowed to talk about because someone doesn't want to be demonetized, is that it's still very hard to get a vaccine. I am stage 1A, group 1A. I have multiple sclerosis. I have something that is an immunocompromised disorder, as well as I'm overweight still, as from a BMI perspective. And yet, it's taking next to forever to at least get a call back saying, hey, you can get your vaccine in June. I would love to at least get that. And right now, I think it's something that we're dealing with big time in this Commonwealth, but there are a lot of places in the United States that are dealing with that too. And then you have a really great sort of attraction, or really great sort of promise from the White House saying that we want to make this easier and easier and easier. Well, that also means that our municipalities, our states, our towns need to help step up with that too. And I think the reason why I'm so adamant about this right now is I'm actually in a higher group as far as that's concerned. I think having the MS diagnosis and now being under that, but also realizing that I need to do everything I can to protect my immune system. I really need to get that done. Well, I'm glad I'm glad you had some success there. I had Sarah went to a clinic and was able to walk in. I was given that same sort of advice as far as the hospitals around here, that at the end of the day, there might be vaccines for those who basically missed their appointment. And it's something I might take up early part of next week to see if that works. But I've also heard horror stories that, people go to the hospital, but there are no vaccines to be found. I guess more a question of me waiting and still walking down that road to try to get there. So as soon as I do get my vaccine, I'll let all of you know for sure, because in a way the Ocrevus is definitely at risk here, right? My neurologist would like me to get the COVID vaccine before I go on that disease modifying treatment. The longer that gets waited, the longer it takes for me to go on Ocrevus, the longer it takes me to get on a disease modifying treatment to fight my MS. So that's why there's that sort of level of urgency that's coming out of my voice right now. Sarah says, did you hear all of the things in the relief bill about ways they're making vaccines available? It's pretty incredible. Yeah, it is really incredible. But I'm almost at the point where if I can see it and experience it, then I'll believe it. Because again, anything that comes from that level comes with a shade of doubt because of bureaucracy. But I'm hoping and I'm praying, Sarah. I'm hoping and I'm praying for sure. Sarah also says, I don't think you will have to wait more than 2 weeks at most. Sarah, I hope you're right. I really do. Because I can't wait much longer before I start getting really concerned. And that's more than just me. That's my primary care physician, and that's my neurologist as well. So I hope you're right, Sarah, for sure. Speaking of what we're doing on the show is we're going to bring on someone right now. Hang on one sec. Hang on 1 second, Matt. Gotta get you on screen here. There he is. Matt Haas. Matt of the Haas. The Wizard of Haas.
How are you, John?
I am doing well. I think this is the first time you've joined me from a place that's not the studio.
That's right. Yeah, look what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah. You're grilling.
I'm grilling, baby. Oh, can you see that?
Oh,
Ah,
you're making steaks.
I'm making steaks. This is hard to focus. I am making steaks, baby. Yeah, I was I had my week all planned out to be on the Venture Forward, and then my son from college made an impromptu visit to the house yesterday. So I didn't have shopping time Thursday evening. So I I had to take care of that. But glad to be here. I got my shopping done, and I met my new, well, my son and his girlfriend have a new puppy. So I met the new puppy.
What kind of puppy?
It's a lab mix. She's sort of like a medium-sized dog. I think she's 40 pounds
Oh,
or 35 pounds, and she's just 6 months old. And she is the most lovable thing in the world. Like, of course, she doesn't speak, but if she were to actually speak, she would say, I don't know who you are. I just met you, but I love you. And then lick, 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 lick. You know,
lots of licking, lots of appreciation, the love of a dog. That's incredible.
super nice dog. And you know, she sits and she's well behaved and she's not real. I'm like, this is the best. So anyway, that threw off my end of the week, and that's why I couldn't jump on at the top of the show. But I Mr. Paul Weber, I listen to him, you and him. He's a good guy.
It's fantastic.
I'm ready for the weekend, man. Woo!
Everybody's working for the weekend. Not sure if you heard that.
No, I'm doing fun stuff on the weekend. I'm gonna make some content. I'm gonna get in the wood shop. I'm just going to. I was in the wood shop on Thursday. Evan's like, he wants to put the crate. He has the crate next to his bed, but he wants it to also be a part of a nightstand. So I joined two pieces of wood together to cover half of the crate. So now he has his lamp and he can put his glasses and his drink, and it was perfect. I routed the edges, but it wasn't anything fancy. But I was in the wood shop and I was working, and it was fun. So more of that this weekend for sure. What's on your agenda for this week?
Well, I don't know. I feel like now I need to make a trip to the warehouse club to buy some of the things that you're grilling over there, even though technically I gave up meat for Lent. I'm thinking back on that. I don't know. I'm craving the ability to grill something. Gotta be honest with you, Matt. Gotta keep it 100.
Well, I tell you what, my diet, I miss a few foods, but I'm telling you what, I'm eating fresh food. I'm eating vegetables. I'm eating fish. You know, even some meats. I have meatballs and sausage. Just hearty breakfast. I'm like, I make smoothies. And you know, I'm a smoothie. I don't know.
You're making smoothies.
Banging smoothies, and it's great. I'm loving it.
Sarah says grilled veggies are
happened?
the best.
Yeah.
Zucchini. Grilled zucchini.
You know.
And you're cutting in and out of there, Matt. Yeah, grilled zucchini is fantastic. I love grilled veggies, Sarah. I agree with you there. There's a carnivore in me that's saying, oh, I want meat. But yeah, grilled veggies would be fantastic on the grill. Grilled, I think you could do amazing things with zucchini, eggplant. I was about to say it. Wow. Sarah, get out of my head. Eggplant, absolutely. And then portobello mushrooms. Portobello mushrooms, without question. You think of a vegetable.
Can you still hear?
I can hear you now, but you're still cutting in and out there.
Okay.
You think about a vegetable that is a lot like meat. You think of something that you can marinate that can give it that sort of meat-like taste. You think of the portobello mushroom. So for sure. Welcome back, Matt.
I'm not big on mushrooms because see my rules are if I'm going to eat something, it has to meet one of two criteria. The item that I'm about to eat. It either one has to require photosynthesis or two have a face.
Right.
And mushrooms don't require either of those two, so they fail the test. So
So the
no
fungus,
mushrooms.
you're scared of fungi.
I wouldn't say scared. I'm just like turned off by them. I'm like, no, no. Something that grows in the mold darkness, the moldy, damp darkness. It's just like why? Who
Why are
was
we
the
doing
first
this? Why are we doing this, Matt? Why it doesn't make any sense?
Doesn't make any sense. Who was the first person to say like, oh yeah, that mold right there? I'm gonna put that in my mouth. Like, how did that happen the first time? I don't know.
Amazing things happen when you go hunting. Sarah says even carrots. She's a big fan of the grilled carrots.
Oh.
That looks amazing.
I like them thick, baby. I like my steaks like I like my women.
Oh, there we go. Now I'm gonna have to take this one. I gotta take this episode down. I'm kidding.
Oh,
Fine.
come on.
I'm kidding. Sarah says fungophobia. You
Is
have
that a thing?
fungophobia.
That sounds made up.
It probably is.
Sarah, I love you.
If it is not made up, and someone wants to put the definition into the comments, that'd be awesome. I don't have any prizes or anything, but thank you. I don't have prizes when I'm saying, hey, could someone buy me a coffee, right? I mean, let's be honest. There's buy me a coffee down there that's been there for, I don't know, a month or so, month and a half. Yeah, I'm. There's no prize budget right now.
Jeez. I tried to keep Rex caffeinated. Hold on. Oh, jeez.
Who's that in the background?
Oh, my wife was talking to me through the window.
Hello, Mrs. Haas.
Yeah, that Tracy is her name. She's hungry. I had this marathon errand run. I was zigzagging all over Central PA, and I finally get home, and I'm like, all right. She's like, I'm starving. Make those steaks. I'm like, I don't want to make the steaks. She's like, I'm hungry. Make me the steaks.
You're doing
I'm
a
like,
Harrisburg edition of Supermarket Sweep. Just at a in a warehouse club.
Yeah. I got some lawn fertilizer for my. Look how awful my lawn is. Can you see that?
Oof. Oh God. Oh my.
There are some problem areas, so that's all gonna get fixed.
Looks like your lawn needs some steak. Just saying.
It can't have what I'm making because
no, that's for me.
I was
going to say, Matt, could you do a Pittsburgh Sear medium rare? I'm just kidding. Don't worry about me. I'm fine.
Pittsburgh. I hated cooking Pittsburgh. It was fun. It was fun to make Pittsburgh style, but But look at that.
It's gorgeous. The grill marks are on the money.
Here, this will be your thumbnail. I can't get it. I'm not a good selfie artist.
It would help if I point the right direction, and that's not. Don't worry. But it's good. It's good. It's like, there you go. That's fine. Gilly Man, glad you're here tonight. He says there's enough mycelium in 1 square inch of soil to stretch 8 miles. Sarah says she's terrified of mycelium. Right. Gilly says it causes internet. It's connected to every living thing, 99.99%. And fear of fungus is mycophobia. And that was provided to you by Dr. Gilly. Dr. Gilly, weekday mornings at 10 a.m. That looks fantastic.
Can we poll the audience? I think these are ready to come off. Medium rare is what I'm going for.
I
Yeah.
think you do you do the test with the finger to see, okay, has that sort of
I think we're good here.
oh
The
yeah,
the backside's even better than the front side. Look at that.
winner sirloin dinner.
Well, John, I think this is where I'm going to jump off because
Of course, you got dinner there, and you got a lovely lady who wants a steak. She's asked for a steak for years, and you're finally doing your greatest job to provide that steak. Good on
All right.
you.
Well, thanks for having me on. Wish I could have jumped on earlier. Bye, Venture Forward family. I'll see you on the interwebs.
Thank you, Mr. Haas. Wizardofhaas.com, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of yourself.
Yep, you too.
Matt Haas, ladies and gentlemen. Always great to see him, for sure. And go back to me over here, back over here, and then try to get the pointing down correctly. I got it, whatever. Now I want steak. Now I want steak. So I'm gonna have to make a major decision. Like I'm in the middle of Lent. I said I'm gonna give up meat. I gave it. I said I'm going to take a pass on it one Sunday, because you could take, believe Catholicism, right? It's like you could take Sundays or rest days as far as the Lent, but like I'm really craving steak, and yeah, Matt got a really great steak over there. So looks like it's going to be a lovely dinner there, Matt. I hope you and the fam enjoy it. Quick preview for Tuesday, at least what it is on paper right now. We have a incredibly great discussion with a lady whose daughter has multiple sclerosis and has done a lot of things to raise money for the National MS Society. As I bring that graphic back up, National MS Society is a collective of passionate individuals who want to do something about MS now, to move together towards a world free of multiple sclerosis. MS stops people from moving, but the National MS Society exists to make sure that MS doesn't. To contact the National MS Society, please call 1-800-344-4867 or go to their webpage at nationalmssociety.org. Again, 1-800-344-4867, nationalmssociety.org. That'll be, and the conversation is scheduled for Tuesday night, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, here on the Venture Forward. Whatever you do this weekend, I hope you have a great weekend. I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell you at the end of every single Venture Forward, every single VF Talks. Stay safe, stay sane, stay strong, stay sober. You're worth it. I will see you Tuesday night at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Take care.
Heading to Vegas in my blue striped car. She's riding shotgun and she looks like a star. Yeah, she's got the style that makes you think she's made out of gold. She says she likes it better when we go off-road. Yeah. I'm gonna make it worth your while. I'm gonna make it worth your time. Gonna make it worth your while. When she's with me, we're like superstars. Windows roll down, radio on. I think we could go far. We don't need money. We can skip that part. All I want is her to be with me. She's got a ticket to my heart. The sky is blue, I got the sun in my eyes. It can't get better than when she makes that smile. Yeah, she's got that style that makes you think she's made out of gold. She's turning up the volume on the radio. Yeah. I'm gonna make it worth your while. I'm gonna make it worth your time. I'm gonna make it worth your while. When she's with me, Windows roll down, radio on. I think we could go far. We don't need money. We can skip that part. All I want is her to be with me. She's got a ticket to my heart.